What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ron back with DFS Greatness, man. I went here week 9 with you guys, was under the weather, but I'm back with it, man. Before I start this video, you like the content, you like what you see, subscribe to my channel, like my page, man. It mean a lot to me, man. It's just trying to get my views up and my subs up. And let's get to it, man. I want to thank one of my sponsors, man. If you're ever in the Nashville, Tennessee area looking for a good time, good transportation, just trying to, go down Broadway, have a good time, just why not call iDrive 615 for good transportation, man, and just having a good time. 615-638-0613. Let's get to it, man. You got a lot of good options at quarterback, man. I'm going to give you a few options that I like, that I think these guys in good matchups. Let's get to it. Lamar Jackson at 7,300, man. This guy been like playing his fanatic, man, playing fantastic, just playing pretty well. He's averaging 27.7 fantasy points a game, 12.4 rush attempts a game. Last 3 games, 29, 26, and 34. Going against Cincinnati, 6th worst defense overall. They give up the 4th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. Right now, Cincinnati haven't won a game yet. Terrible. Andy Dalton got benched. They going another direction with another quarterback. So I definitely like Lamar Jackson. If I'm paying up for a quarterback, I definitely like him in some GP lineups. You got Patrick Mahomes, 7,000. I like the price tag. I know he's going to be low on. Nobody's going to play him. They're going to think he's going to get hurt. So I would definitely have him in a few GPP lineups with him and Tyreek Hill together at 7,000. And at 6,800, you got my guy Jameis Winston. Average 21.9 fantasy points a game. Last 3 games, 24, 26, and 21, with 3.5 rush attempts a game. Worst defense overall, and they give it the most fantasy points to quarterback. So I definitely like him going against Arizona tomorrow. Do not send the wrong. It's a home game for them. They got beat the last 2 games against the Titans, and also they got beat against Seattle. So definitely like the best bounce back candidate. And you got my guy Drew Brees, man. He's coming back, man. Last game before the bye, 29 fantasy points, averaging 18.1 fantasy points a game. He's projected to get 18.7 tomorrow, going against Atlanta, 4th worst defense overall, give it the 3rd most fantasy points to quarterbacks. So I definitely like Drew Brees tomorrow, man. I like him, and I like Michael Thomas stacked together. You got Kyler Murray, man, going against Tampa Bay. 3rd worst defense overall, give it 3rd most fantasy points to quarterbacks. He's averaging around 19.9 fantasy points a game. Definitely like him right now. Last 3 games, 23, 10, and 7. He getting around 16.2 rushes attempts a game. Tampa Bay defense has allowed 21 total touchdowns and 22.7 fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. So with that being said, definitely like Kyler Murray tomorrow. Another quarterback I like, he's averaging 24.2 fantasy points a game. I like Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, if you want to call him that. But he got ice in his veins. They've been getting beat most of the season, getting blown out. So Matt Ryan been putting up huge numbers to put these guys in opportunity to try to get the win, but they've been getting beat. He's getting around 30, 35 pass attempts a game. So I definitely like Matt Ryan against New Orleans. That game should be a high-scoring game tomorrow. And you got no Jacoby Brissett, Brown Hoyer at 5,900. Do not see wrong with playing him, but I think I like another quarterback with better upside at 5,100. Ryan Tannehill tomorrow is projected 15.1 fantasy points a game tomorrow, 25, 19, and 20 last 3 games. Definitely like him tomorrow. Going against Kansas City, Kansas City has allowed 20 fantasy points a game to quarterbacks, 10th for defense overall to give with the 90 most fantasy points to quarterbacks. I like him a lot. That's the lowest I spend for a quarterback tomorrow at 5,100, Ryan Tannehill. So my quarterback, I'm gonna light in Drew Brees. And at the running back position tomorrow, you got Christian McCaffrey, 10,500, averaging around 32.7 fantasy points a game. That's ridiculous. But 41, 31, and 22 fantasy points, getting around 20.6 rushes a game, 6.5 pass targets a game. And in Green Bay, give it the 5th most fantasy points to running backs. Definitely like him a lot. I just feel like, for them to win, the Christian McCaffrey has been putting the team on their back for them to have opportunity to win. So definitely like him tomorrow. You got Barkley, averaging 19.2 fantasy points a game, going against the Jets. No Ingram, no Son Shepard, so he should be a big part of the offense tomorrow. I like him a lot. And you got Alvin Kamara, and you got Latavius Murray. He's 8,200, he's 7,300. Kamara is back healthy, but the coach already came out and said Latavius Murray will be a part of the offense, but I just don't know how much of a factor he will be from taking Kamara carries and touches, because if they get in the red zone, it's going to be like wait and see approach, or you just don't never know how Sean Payton gonna do the game tomorrow. But 8,200, I definitely like Kamara, and I definitely like I like Latavius. I like both of those guys, man. Because Latavius is tricky, but I think Kamara will have a better game, but it just red zone could be a factor for taking touchdowns away from Murray. I mean from Kamara. Also, another running back I like is 7,000, Nick Chubb. Anything is possible. You got Kareem Hunt coming back tomorrow, but Buffalo has allowed Adrian Peterson get 100 yards last week. Buffalo run defense is terrible. He's averaging 20.4 fantasy points a game, so I like Chubb tomorrow. And also at 7,000, you got Marlon Mack, averaging 14 fantasy points a game, getting around 19.9 rushes attempts a game, 1.2 pass targets a game. No T.Y. Hilton, no Jacoby Brissett, so definitely he's going to have probably about 25, 30 carries tomorrow. And Dolphins has allowed 5 yards per carry and 9 touchdowns already, so it's one thing you want to keep in mind tomorrow. The defense is terrible. And at 6,400, man, I definitely like another guy from Tennessee Titans. Tighten up, Derrick Henry, averaging around 15.8 fantasy points a game, 25, 8, and 19, 18.2 rush attempts a game, 1.8 pass targets. So, with the upside, with the Kansas City defense, pretty terrible. Definitely like him going against tomorrow against the Chiefs. And also, you got Jalen Samuels, averaging 8.8 fantasy points a game. Last week, he had 20 fantasy points, 14. The Rams give the 14 most fantasy points to running backs. So, definitely like their price tags tomorrow, 6,300. And another running back I like is Montgomery going against Detroit. The Lions defense allowed 13 touchdowns and the most fantasy points to running backs already. Lions defense can't stop nobody. And Montgomery in the last 2 games been balling, man. Been playing like a first-round pick. Other than that, man, they have no confidence in their quarterback and their coaches. He's a terrible coach. Also, Montgomery been playing pretty good. I like him tomorrow. 5,300. Another running back I like, no Frank Gore factor no more. Singletary at 5,000. Last week, Cleveland let Phillip Lindsay have 15.2 fantasy points a game and on 9 carries. And he played, Singletary last week, played 60% of the snaps, allowing MC. They also allowing the 3rd most rushing yards a game. So, Cleveland's terrible right now. They're real terrible. And another quarterback I do like tomorrow at the price tag of 4,300, Ronald Jones. The coach, Bruce Arians, already came out and said he would be the starting running back at 4,300. Arizona defense they don't scare me at all. So I definitely like Ronald Jones tomorrow. For a running back you want to go with to save some money, be a little different. Do not see nothing wrong with that. And that's the running backs I like for tomorrow. I'm definitely going to put Montgomery and also be a little different. I'm going to get Singletary. The wide receiver tomorrow, you got Michael Thomas averaging 24.5 fantasy points a game. I like him a lot, man. Let's stack him with Drew Brees. They give it the 4th worst defense. They got the 4th worst defense overall. Give it the 3rd most fantasy points to wide receivers. He getting around 11.1 pass targets a game. He's 8,300 on Draftkings, and he's $400 more on FanDuel. Last 3 games, 30, 25, 17. He's a 90% snap count, man. This guy's a savage, man. Been balling. He got paid a big contract, well deserved. Michael Thomas is the best receiver in the league, in my opinion. Numbers don't lie. You got the cheetah, man. Let the cheetah out the cage against the Titans. It's cheetah 7,700, man. No Malcolm Butler going against Adoree Jackson is not a good corner, and Logan Ryan is the nickelback, so Logan Ryan should be starting tomorrow. So Tyree Hill, man, is probably gonna eat these guys alive tomorrow. He averaging 17.8 fantasy points a game. Like Tyree Hill a lot. 70,600. You got Mike Evans going against Arizona. I'm averaging 23.4 fantasy points a game, 39, 46, and 21, 10.4 targets average in the game. Last week he had 16 targets. This is definitely James Winston's favorite target. James Winston, just throw it up to Mike Evans. He'll get it 90% of he playing 90% of the snaps going against Arizona, 90 most fantasy points per wide receiver. They got Patrick Peterson. He's washed up. Should have got traded. Should have took the trade offers. They also offered some draft picks for him. Arizona wanted to keep him. And 7,400, averaging 22.7 fantasy points a game, 14, 10, and 28, 8.9 targets a game. Goodwin, like him a lot tomorrow. And Mike Evans. You can just pivot off Evans. Go get Goodwin. They both in a fantastic matchup. At 7,300, you got my guy Cooper Kupp. The Steelers are giving up 29.8 fantasy points a game to wide receivers out the slot. So definitely like Cooper Kupp. You got Ty Gurley on the team. He's just on the team. His running back won't be able to do nothing tomorrow. Ty Gurley looked pretty bad, and also no Cook. So Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp and Reynolds. Reynolds is a sleeper. I don't guarantee he will have a good game, but Cooper Kupp will be the primary target for tomorrow. And you got Golden Tate tomorrow, 5,900, averaging 14.4 fantasy points a game. Since he came back for suspension, Golden Tate has been on a tear. No Ingram tomorrow, and also no Sterling Shepard. Golden Tate 5 touchdowns and 100 yards per game. He been balling right now, averaging that so far. So Golden Tate like that price at 5,900. And Robert Woods, like I told you, 5,600, like the price tag. No Cook tomorrow, Pittsburgh secondary, nothing scary. And you got Zach Pascal, 5,300, averaging 9.9 fantasy points a game. Miami has given up 14.4 yards a catch to receivers. So Zach Pascal catch a bomb against them pretty quick. Miami's not that good. You got Christian Kirk. Bucks defense have given up 8 touchdowns and 27 fantasy points, and has allowed Christian Cook has played 71.4 of his route on the slot. So definitely like Christian Kirk tomorrow. Sleeper play Sammy Watkins because Tennessee. Like I told you, he's going to be a sleeper, odd man out. Definitely like him a lot. And also, you got Jamison Crowder tomorrow, 5,000. I was on Robbie Anderson last week. I didn't had no exposure to Crowder. Crowder had a better game. Averaging 8.6 fantasy points a game. Averaging 11.2 fantasy points a game. 7th worst defense of all the Giants. Give it the 4th most receivers, fantasy points of receivers. Last week, he had 18 fantasy points. He averaging around 7.4 targets a game. Also, Jarvis Landry, Devontae Parker, like both of those guys. So cheaper plays, you can go pivot all those guys. And also no Corey Davis. You got A.J. Brown, man, 40,300. I like him a lot. Another guy, any more real cheap people that you could put in your lineup, I like Reynolds, 3,800. And another guy I like with the Tennessee Titans, I like Adam Humphries. No Corey Davis and Humphries at 3,500, a receiver that I like. Receivers, I'm going to lock in. I'm going to get Michael Thomas. I'm going to get my guy Mike Evans. And I'm going to go get the Golden Tate. Okay, the tight end position. For the top play, you got Travis Kelce averaging 14.5 fantasy points a game. You get Pat Mahomes back. That do make a difference with him. He's averaging around 8.2 targets a game. He's on the field 91% of the snap. Titans get with the 14 most fantasy points to tight ends. No Evan Ingram, Austin Hooper. This guy's averaging 18.6 fantasy points a game, 19, 15, 29. He's on the field 83% of the snaps. He's getting 7.8 targets a game. If it's to be a shootout, Austin Hooper should come through. And what I noticed last week with Mark Andrews, that's Lamar Jackson's favorite target. He loved targeting his tight ends. Mark Andrews averaging 13.5 fantasy points a game. Definitely like him. And you got Jared Everett tomorrow, 4,500, going against Pittsburgh Steelers. Has allowed 5 touchdowns and nearly 14 fantasy points a game to tight ends. He's averaging 8.8 fantasy points a game. He had a big game since he had a few weeks ago, but he's out there, and I'm pretty sure Todd Gurley won't be a factor, so they're going to have to go through him. And another receiver I like, tight end I like also, Greg Olsen, 3,600. Greg Olsen been kind of disappointing this year. Greg Olsen averages 9.4 fantasy points a game, getting around 7.4 targets. 5.6 targets a game. He's on the field 89% of the snaps, so I like that a lot. Green Bay's not good against tight ends. And also, Cameron Brate, 3,700. And you got O.J. Howard. Arizona is the worst defense overall against tight ends. I'm just laying them guys out there. O.J. Howard hasn't been a factor, and Cameron Brate been taking touchdowns. That's kind of bad. Shit went untraded. O.J. Howard doing trade deadline. And Jake Doyle, I like him tomorrow, 2,600. Is averaging 7.4 fantasy points a game. And you got what's the guy, Juno Smith for the Titans, 3,500. He had a bad game last week going against Kansas City. He should have a bounce back. I don't get Kansas City secondary is not that good at all. And also at the tight end, I like Mike Gesicki, 3,100 with the Miami Dolphins. He had a pretty good game last week. Caught all his targets last week. Had a pretty decent game. I definitely like him. He should be a big part of the offense tomorrow. So I'm going to put him in my lineup tomorrow for tight end. And for flex position, I'm going to go get Ronald Jones at 4,300. At the defense tomorrow, you got this. You can pivot off the Ravens defense. When I took a GPP down earlier this year, I took a GPP determinant down. I went different. I went with a quarterback with inexperience, and I went to go get the Philadelphia Eagles defense against the New York Jets. Quarterback was terrible, and their defense gave me 32 fantasy points and helped me win some big money. So you want to keep, because you got to think about that one. You're going against, you got the Ravens going against this guy, Ryan Finley, tomorrow. It's his first time starting, so I'm pretty sure they're going to put pressure on him, and he will probably throw some picks tomorrow. You got to pay up for that. You got to just, get some more extra cap to go get him. And also the Saints defense at home, always good for a few sacks. But, Atlanta's still going to go down there and score. You got the Colts defense, 3,500 against Miami tomorrow. Miami has allowed 4 sacks a game, 2.4 per games, man. Pretty terrible. It's pretty good, bad. And also, another defense I like for tomorrow, keep an eye on Detroit defense, man, 2,900. There really hasn't been a good defense, but Mitch Trubisky, he's not that good of a quarterback. I always like to go after him. And 2,900, you got Buffalo Bills. And the Browns has allowed around 3 sacks a game, so definitely like the Bills. And the way Baker Mayfield been playing, man, get this guy out them State Farm commercials. He been terrible. So definitely you can go 2,900, go get him, go get the Buffalo for the price tag. And there's no other defense cheap that I would spin up with a pay down for. You got an extra 300 left. You can either go up or quarterback. You can go get Pat Mahomes, Jameis Winston like that with the extra 300. And just whatever you want to do, man, like 7,600. It's a lot of good options. You have enough to get the Cheetah. You can go get Mike Evans. You can always go get Cooper Kupp. You got 600 left. You just, whatever you want to do with your team and get you can go switch it up. The running back position, you got $600 left to play with. You can go get rid of Golden Tate and all the quarterback running backs. Receivers that look good, but it's which way you want to go, man. But I'm definitely gonna have exposure to these two. Tyreek Hill and Mike Evans, telling you these are gonna be part of the top plays for tomorrow. Man, at the end of the day, man, hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. You like the content, hit that like page, subscribe to my channel. Until next time, man. Also follow me on Twitter at DFS Greatness. At the comment section of this video, man, you type in your favorite plays you guys like, man, and just tell me, and I will hit you guys back, and just tell you, give y'all some good advice for tomorrow. At the end of the day, man, follow your boy on DFS Greatness on Twitter, man. Until next time, I'm out, man. Good luck, everyone. Until next time, man. Good luck, man. Let's get to the bag.